Dear student, welcome you again in this channel. Today I am going to discuss on the topic the life cycle and zoonotic significance of Giardia. Now let's start. Now, the common name of Giardia is a grand old man of the intestine. It is intestinal parasites of human beings and other vertebrates like cat, dog, monkey, pigs, and other cattle. Giardia is the endoparasites, and they are basically present in the intestinal region, in duodenum and upper part of jejunum. The trophozoites look like a badminton racket. Its dorsal surface is convex while the ventral surface is concave, and it's distributed everywhere, and disease caused by this genus is known as giardiasis. Now about its life cycle. Now this parasites is monogenetic, means it require only one host for completion of its life cycle, and it is basically found in the intestinal portion of animal, including human beings, and it is attached to the intestinal mucosa with the help of ventral disc or sucking disc. Giardia have a two stage. One is the feeding, or you can say trophozoite stage, and second is the infective, and it is known as cyst stage or quadrinucleate stage. Now, this diagram shows the life cycle of Giardia. If any human being consume any infected or contaminated water, now this parasites move toward the alimentary canal, and here in the small intestine, the giardia come in this part, and they become exist, goes toward the process of excistation, means the trophozoites stage, which is the feeding stage, which come out through this cyst form, and they become motile, and they move towards the other portion, and they goes toward the intestinal wall, and where it become attached the intestinal wall and goes toward the multiplication process through the longitudinal binary fission. And if any person who get infected with this parasites, name is giardia, have show many few people show the symptom, but many have people are asymptomatic, means have no any symptom or no any visible symptom. So this parasites or this giardia goes toward the process of incystation, means these trophozoites convert into the cyst form, so it's called it incystation. Now this cyst and trophozoites, they are basically the incystation process are occur in the large intestinal portion of animal. So this cyst or trophozoites both are found in the fecal matter of animal, and they both cyst and trophozoites come out through the host body, But only cysts have a capability to survive outside the body, but trophozoites become not survive and they become die. And this cyst, it can survive approx many weeks and months in cold water or on vegetation or any fruits. Now, next new host is now become infected through the consuming this infected food and water. And further, this infected form of this parasite is the cyst. They come into the host through the alimentary canal into the small intestine, where they can become excistation, means emerge out of trophozoites from the cyst stage. And basically this excistation process which are occur in the stomach and in the small intestinal region. Now further this cycle is again repeated. Now about in detail of life cycle. Now first in human being, the trophozoites, they are become attached to the mucosa cell of small intestine with the help of sucking disc, or you can say ventral disc. And this parasite does not ingest any solid food. They basically obtain their food from the blood, like amino acid and vitamin content which are found in the blood, and some feed on the mucose secretion of intestinal wall. The rich carbohydrate diet which are taken by the host, they favor the growth of this parasites. The trophozoites multiply in the intestine through the asexual reproduction by the process longitudinal binary fission. Now after some time, the trophozoites detached from the intestinal mucosa and they become encysted, and they pass towards the large intestine, and which portion is colon. Now encystment means cyst formation. So this cyst formation or encystment process which are occur in the duodenum, in generally when duodenum have a unfavorable or acidic environment. Encystment occur usually in large intestine. Exostyle and flagella, they are retracted and cytoplasm condense and have a transparent wall, and its cyst length is approx 9 to 12 micron and its breadth is approx 6 to 10 micron. And this encysted trophozoites goes toward the nuclear division without any cell division. It's very important. The encysted trophozoites, they undergo nuclear division but without any cell division, and the result, which is quadrinucleated cyst, is formed. And this quadrinucleated cysts are liberated out from the host body through the fecal matter or through the stools. These cysts are very sensitive to desiccation, but in water they become survive for up to the 3 to 8 months. Its dead point is above the 50 degree centigrade and below the minus 20 degree centigrade. Now, passage of cyst in stools. When this mature cyst, means quadrinucleate stage of cyst, which passed out of the host body, the trophozoites may also pass out, but they cannot survive outside the body. Only cysts are resistant and survive in the external environment. Now, through this cyst, new host become infected, and this cyst enter the alimentary canal with infected food or water. The most common source of Giardia infection is the untreated water or contaminated water. Now, about excistation, means emerge out of trophozoites from the cyst. Once the cysts are ingested, the excistation process begins within 30 minutes, basically in the region of stomach and duodenum. The two binucleated trophozoites, means have a two nucleated trophozoites, they hatched out from each quadrinucleate cyst, and these trophozoites attached to the intestinal wall, and they divide or they multiply by the process of binary fission. Now about its zoonotic significance. First is disease. Generally, Giardia infections in most of the hosts remain asymptomatic, means no symptoms are visible. And these parasites, which are attached to the intestinal wall, and it is responsible for improper function or disturbance in proper functioning of intestine. When Giardia is present in intestine, it causes discomfort to the host, and it produces visible symptoms, and this condition is called giardiasis. Now about its infection. The heavy infection of this Giardia or this disease, it produces or it causes abdominal pain, diarrhea, malnutrition, means it prevents absorption of food material into the body, and it causes nausea and vomiting, disturbance, sleeping condition, mental depression and irritability, anemia, etc., etc. And symptoms of acute diarrhea means it have a symptom like acute watering diarrhea and having abdominal cramp, bloating, flatulence, and stools are foul smelling and greasy. And in case of chronic infection, have a symptom have a chronic diarrhea with malabsorption of food and greasy stools. Now, pathogenesis. Giardia basically, they not invade tissue or they not destroy the tissue. Basically, they are attached to the intestinal wall and they feed on the secretion of mucosal cell. They also migrate towards the biliary tract for avoiding acidity in duodenum. And so it causes inflammation of the duodenum and jejunum, basically in the small part of a small intestine, and it may leads to malabsorption, means it prevents the absorption of nutrient of food, or you can say food material. So as the parasite coats the mucosa and it it causes or damage the brush border epithelium cells of intestine. And so stool or fecal matter contain a large amount of mucus but not blood. Now about its treatment. Various drugs are available for treating giardiasis, like nitronidazole, derivatives like metronidazoles, tinidazole, and some other atibrine and acronyl. They are specific drugs for giardiasis, and like other drugs like quinacrine is very effective. It's give approx 90% positive result. Again, some other anti-malarial drugs like mepacrine, chloroquine, they are highly effective, and they are basically used for this treatment of giardiasis. Now about its transmission, or you can say mode of transmission. Basically, the parasite transmitted through the cyst. So infective stage is the chordine nucleate cystic stage. When this cyst are swallowed along with food or water, the body become infected through giardia. Insect and rodent are also responsible for carrying this cyst from fecal of the infected person to the food item. And other sources of transmission like fecal contamination of drinking water and improper hygienic conditions. Children are mostly infected through this disease or through this cyst. Now, about prophylaxis or prevention. How can we prevent, or how can we control this disease? First is the fecal oral contamination and drinking water are the most common causes of infection. So for prevention of giardia infection, we have practiced about hygienic practices like filtering or boiling water before drink. Now, vegetable and fruit should be used only after proper washing. And effective sanitary disposal, avoidance of fresh human feces as a fertilizer, and washing hand thoroughly with soap and water after using the toilet or before handling food. It is very helpful for us. Now, thank you all for watching this video. Thank you.